What's going on, guys? Carter here. Got another video for you. We're getting this garbage out of the way. Little backstory. Man, I am tired today. Sorry, guys. I apologize if this video sucks. Super tired, but I've sold this knife. And you know what? I'm going to tell you the whole story. I sold this knife. It was all packaged up. And the nice man who purchased this noticed something in the video that he thought may have been like a scratch on the blade. And so he wanted me to check it out, but it was already boxed up. And I'm like, okay, man, I'll do that. Let's cut open the box I boxed up and pull it out. So I pulled it out just to double check because I know that 100% cold hard facts. This is brand new, right from Oz. Never been used, but you never know. You never know if there was some little blade anomaly that I didn't notice when I was playing with it and checking it out. Obviously, I knew it hadn't been used. But you know, these are not handmade necessarily, but these are made objects, and they follow the laws of nature, and things bump up on things, even in factories. And so I'm like, all right, I'll check it out. So I did. I checked it out. I shot him a video. I'm going to send it to him, but I figured it might be a good opportunity to do a proper video on this because I was a little bit bummed. See, I think it's see this stonewashing? In the picture I took, it was capturing just a couple little flecks that happened to be closer to the edge. And so because you couldn't see all of them, it just made it look like there was a couple little scratches by the blade. But, you know, obviously it's a stonewash blade, so it's scratches everywhere, right? But that's all it was just picking up a couple in particular stonewash things that made it look like, you know, because of where they were positioned on close to the edge of the blade. I could see how you could see that and be like, oh, did somebody cut something with this and kind of scratch that? Anyway, so, you know, it's a good opportunity to do somewhat of a proper video on this Oz because I got it in the lottery. I never win those things. I happened to win this one in the second lottery that I entered, which is pretty cool. They had two different versions. This was the one I wanted the least, but this is the one that I got. And I just wanted to try it out. So I had been, you know, interested in the Oz Roosevelts, the Rosies, for a little while. I've been getting more into smaller, kind of lighter type slicey blades. So I thought, you know what, maybe this would be up my alley. And I put in for the lottery. In between me putting in for the lottery and paying for this, I actually got a chance to handle a Rosie, and I didn't love it. I mean, it was kind of what I thought it might be, but I was still hoping when I got one in hand, it would be a little bit different. Just a little too much. I'm not here yet. You know, like I'm getting into a little bit slicier, lighter type, flippy, fidgety type things a little bit more than I used to, but this is like the epitome of that. So here's what I'll say. If you're wondering if you're going to like this knife, if to you the quintessential knife, the best a knife could ever be is just super light and slicey and fidgety, then this is the one. This is that to perfection. And when we're talking, is it worth the money? You got to keep that in mind. Objectively, no, this is not worth the money. I will say that flat out. However, if that is what really like gets you, you know, like that's the knife to you. Because I think back in my heyday of knife purchasing, which is funny to say that because I purchase way more knives now. But I mean, way back in the day when I was way into it and I was into the overbuilt tanky knives, you know, just in the joy of pursuing the tankiest knife ever, I bought tons of stuff that wasn't worth the money, you know, overpaid because it was achieving that ultimate tanky goal. So this is achieving that ultimate slicey, lightweight, fidgety knife goal. So if that has monetary value to you, then this is totally worth the price. But objectively, it's not. And I'll somewhat kind of break it down, but let's do a little overview here. So you can read the specs. I don't need to do that. This just kind of takes all of those latest things people are into and pushes it to the extreme. So the skeletonization, maybe you can kind of see in there is, I mean, it's really as skeletonized as you can be and still have some parts that are full thickness. I'm making sure to be extra gentle with this because it's sold. So I don't even want to drop it on this soft stuff here. It's skeletonized as much as you could skeletonize anything. Everything is dialed into perfection. The action is pretty cool. It's pretty unique. To say that it's smooth it doesn't paint the whole picture. It's definitely super smooth, but something to do with how light this blade is and the way it flicks. It does have a different hand feel than any other knife that I've held. And despite the fact that you see this and you realize it's going to be light, you know it's skeletonized, and that's what they're going with or going for. When you hold it, it still blows your mind how light it is, and just how perfect it is. A lot of little details in this knife that make it really nice. Like, for example, the very minimalist insert here. You just have this single rounded screw pointing through, and then they anodize it. It's a titanium screw to match all the stuff, those kind of details. The detent ball is set up as high as it possibly could be so that you don't have that kind of transition shelf from when you drop off the ball. See if I can even make it. Okay, there. So it just barely fell off the ball, and then it's like 0.5 millimeter and it's off. Little internal details like that really make this thing sink. And of course, all the basics, the closed position detent is just perfectly tuned. Not too hard, not too light. Really, really nice. I like this whole opening here. That's a cool concept. I'm surprised we haven't seen this anywhere else. This half moon shape works really well. That way you don't have the Spidey hole where you got to put a giant hump on the top of here, and you don't have this little tiny oval. You still have a big access to get in there. So that's really, really nice. And the other thing is the steel. So this is Magna Cut. It is, or at least it's stated to be 63 to 64 HRC. So they're doing their Magna Cut correctly. They're pumping up that HRC that a lot of companies struggle with. And so, in that sense, bam, they really just nail all those things. It is a nice knife. And I think if you really cherish those features, you're going to love it. Otherwise, it is overpriced. This was, I think, $800. The lowest of the low, I think, is $750, right, from Oz. This was more because of the anodizing, and then other features, cost more, they charge more, stuff like that. That's a lot of money. Because even if you take this, let's say you compare this to EMP EDC Nimble or something, similar category, right? Somewhat apples to oranges, but we're whatever. And then you say, well, steel's better in this. What would you pay to upgrade the M390 on the EMP EDC to Magna Cut? $100 maybe. So that brings you up to $450 of equal value. So $800 to $450. And then let's say tuning. You're like, well, the EMP is smooth, it's running on bearings, it's good, it's not this good. So let's say, what would you pay for that? Another $75 or something to tune the EDC EMP to make the action as buttery smooth as this one. Okay, what does that get you up to? $450, $525. And then made in USA, that has value. That's the one that has the most gray area, right? Some people would say, I don't care. I'm not going to pay any more for USA. Some people are like, well, maybe $50, $100, $150. I don't know. But let's say $100. Now you're up to $625. So now you've got an EMP EDC, USA made, fine-tuned with better steel, and you're still hundreds of dollars less than this one. So I don't know. I struggle with the price. Now, I know I'm going to get some comments. That doesn't mean, just because I say something's overpriced doesn't mean I don't buy equally as ridiculous things. I buy plenty like this. Yeah, this is overpriced. Absolutely. And I still buy it and I still love these. But this one I just don't love for other reasons. And so, but it doesn't mean I can't objectively say something is overpriced. But, because that's the number one question I got. So I posted some pictures of this around, also on YouTube. And the number one question was people are saying, man, I really like these. They seem like they're really cool. I don't know. Is it really worth the money? Am I missing something on this? And what I would say is if you're asking that question, you're probably going to say it's not worth the money. But what I will say is I think the price of these are going to come down. I think you're going to see these on aftermarket for $600 to $700-ish. Oz is really cranking these out. There's like a drop every week. This is somewhat of a niche product anyways. And even at that lower price, you're still kind of excluding a good portion. You know, it's not like the Microtech MSI, right? $250, where a lot of people are in that price range. Even at the lower price, you know, $600-700, this is outpriced for a lot of people. And Oz is kind of cranking these out. They've got whatever it is down pat to get these things kind of out the door. So I think the demand's going to go down. I think you're actually going to start seeing these below retail on the secondary market, which is, you know, as things really should be. But sometimes, you know, hype and stuff kind of prevents that. But anyway, so quick overview of the Oz Roosevelt. It is impressive. Not really my cup of tea. If it was cheaper, I would totally keep it. If this only cost me like, I don't know, $500, hands down, I would not be selling it because it is cool. I do like it. But with what these cost, I can't quite get to the point where I want to keep it. All right, guys, let me know down below if you handled an Oz, a Rosie. I keep saying Oz. This is the only knife they make, but that'll probably change. Have you handled a Rosie? Do you like it? Do you think it's worth the money? Do you think it's cool? Or do you think it's all just hype and not worth the money at all? Let me know down below. I'll catch you guys on the next video.